Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, I'll be taking a look in the Soulforge and telling you what I think is good and bad in there, what's worth crafting, and what you should maybe avoid. Also be taking a look at this weekly event glory troop, the Mouth of Zorn. Anyway, a frog had his DNA tested. It proved he was part Irish, part Italian, and just a tad Pole. That was sent to me by KK Canada, so thank you very much KK for that. I got a definite chuckle, very good. Right, what was I doing? Looking at this Mouth of Zorn character who's super attractive with interesting piercings and stuff. Anyway, enough of that. Mouth of Zorn, Groznak Epic. Deals magic +3 damage to an enemy boosted by orc allies. If the enemy is death marked, there's a 35% chance to devour them. So not too bad. That devour chance just above 1 in 3 if the maths decide to be accurate in this game. But gains 2 magic when I take damage. First trait, immunity to death mark and immune to mana burn, mana drain and mana steal. So it does have some potential. The fact it's immune to death mark means you can go a bit crazy with those death mark gems with certain other troops who may also be immune to death mark. Knowing that you're going to get that 35% chance to devour when you cast. So not bad, but not many people like these percentage chance to devour troops. It's a little bit unreliable sometimes, but yeah, not too bad. You can throw it into something like Guild Wars, and people get worried about that sort of stuff because Guild Wars does have a particular habit of making those sort of things work a little bit more often than maybe they should, just saying. But yeah, Mouth of Zorn, not too bad, but limited potential. I'd say about 5 out of 10. As ever, take this thing up to Mythic level if you can. This will give you another troop you can get to level 20, which means that's going to help your power level kingdoms in the long run. Always go to Spoils of War as well, grab 10 of those, more event keys, always handy, and other stuff as well. Thank you very much. Right, onto the Soulforge. Let's take a look in there. Let's start with the weapons first. I'm only going to go over the weapons that are here, which are new. All the ones that are here all the time, like Eye of Zathanos, Shattered Blade, etc., are in my Soulforge Extra video, which I'll put as a link in the description below. Right, first up we have Spiked Mace. Deals magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by Groznak allies, then creates a mix of 6 red and brown gems for each Groznak ally. Uses green and blue, so will not self-charge, but make sure you have a couple at least troops in your team from Groznak to benefit from all that lovely mana gen. Pretty good if your team fulfills those requirements. Bone Scraper sounds painful. I'm in a funny mood. Deals magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by orc allies, then creates a mix of 6 green and red for each orc ally this time. Uses blue and brown. So again, just make sure a couple of your other troops use green and red to benefit from that mana. String of Teeth. Okay. Enrage an ally. This deals 1.5 times damage and ignores enemy traits, so is not to be underestimated as a very effective damage dealer. And looks like roughly half magic. Gives magic-based attack to them boosted by orc allies and has a summon at the same time. So in the right team, that can be, again, pretty decent, but not essential. The Mace of Groznak. Only 9 mana for this. Removes all red gems with no effect. Deals magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by the gems removed. If the enemy is from Groznak or if the battle is in Groznak, deal double damage. So this is kind of like the anti-orc, the anti-Groznak weapon. Just make sure you don't use red yourself in your team, otherwise you're going to be hindering your own progress regarding mana collection. As I said, all these other ones that are here all the time are in my Soulforge Extra video, which goes over all the troops and weapons that are here all the time. Next up on the ones which are new this week are Doomed Codex. Magic-based scatter damage, +4 per tempering level boost. Then create a mix of 6 brown and skulls for every brown enemy. Give 3 magic to all allies, and if the enemy has a doom, give 5 more. So this is the kind of weapon you see a lot on Guild Wars days, because basically you can put it against the all brown team, knowing that if they've set their team up properly, then you're going to get that maximum amount of skulls. And cause a lot of damage to the enemy a lot of the time. But they can be countered if you have Root Trap on the top troop. But a lot of teams are realising people do this now and countering your potential counter by having a impervious troop up top, which then stops the Root Trap. So yeah, still a very good weapon indeed. Earth's Fury, absolutely fantastic weapon. If you haven't got this, certainly worth crafting this week. Eliminates all armor from an enemy, then deals magic-based damage to them and gives all allies to attack, boosted by the armor eliminated. These weapons like this and Mang are absolutely fantastic in delves. As the delves get harder, the enemy gets more and more stats and more armor. It actually works against them because you strip away all the armor in one go, and the attack in this case is boosted by the armor eliminated. So you end up on a really high attack. It actually benefits you to have those battles against those higher level opponents. So fantastic weapon, Earth's Fury. Absolutely get that if you haven't got it this week. Lockstone. Gain a barrier, deal magic based damage to an enemy and silence them. A cheap weapon to craft, but not too bad at all. The fact it gains a barrier is good. That's going to save you from one incoming hit. Damage to an enemy and silence. Silence, another thing in the game not to be underestimated. The silence troop cannot collect mana or cast spells. It's like, yeah, really useful. If you can get the whole team silenced, or there's the only colour on the board which is doing them any good, it's not going to aid them. You're effectively making them waste their turns. So very, very good. King Chopper. Sounds like a nickname given to me by a previous girlfriend, but I'm not going down that road. Explode magic +1 red gems. Grant a random status effect to all Groznak allies. Then summon a Groznak troop. Do love these explodey summony weapons. Absolutely love them. Really cool weapon. Lots of mana gen, summon, status effects. Very, very good indeed. Always worth getting these ones, I reckon. These other ones are here all the time. Right, so now on to the troops. Right, we'll start from the bottom and work our way up. So we do the mythics first. First up is the Gemini. Steals magic +1 life from the 2 weakest enemies, then inflicts curse and 3 stacks of bleed on them. So it's not fantastic damage, but if you can get that magic boosted up, then that can be indeed significant, but no great shakes, even though there's 2 of them. But like I say, if you can get the magic boosted, then that can be an awful lot of life steal. The Archduke deals magic-based damage to an enemy with a percentage chance to, which is equal to its magic, to destroy them. If they die, summon a Lemur. Like, destroy is the same as kill. It's just like the game sometimes uses different terminology to just kill someone, which can confuse people, because devour is another sort of instant death, but with benefits. Things like when it says kill, slay, destroy, they all actually mean the same thing. It's a normal death, the opponent is just killed. But yeah, the fact that the game actually uses terminology like devour in other cases, which does have a benefit, can confuse some people because they think, well, what's the difference between kill, destroy, slay, execute, and things like that? But there isn't one. It's just all the same. It's just the game using different terminology for the same thing. It does gain 3 magic when my turn begins, which is kind of okay in a long game, because you will eventually get that magic to a reliable amount where you're going to kill the enemy every single time. And reflect is pretty decent too. So not great, but not as shockingly bad as it can sound. If you can get that magic boosted up early via another troop, then yeah, get some easy kills. Obsidius deals magic-based heavy splash damage to a random enemy, destroys a 5x5 block, generating mana for the team, and there's a 50% chance to deal, again, the same amount of light splash damage to a random enemy. But one of the reasons this is used the most is for that awesome third trait, stun all enemies on 4 or 5 gem matches. Really handy against troops like Queen Beatrix, who cleanse all the time with her Royal Honey third trait. She gets her cleanse on the 4 match, but you can stun over this and take that away and stop her from getting the cleanse. So very useful when you need to stun enemies is Obsidius. Very good indeed. The Wild Queen. Oh, what to make of her? I don't know. Steals up to, in this case, 45 attack from an enemy, which is good. Give it to the first ally. Good. Then create a mix of 22 skulls and green gems. That should be really good. The trouble is with the Wild Queen is how she wakes up. If she's in a good mood, she'll be absolutely awesome. In your games, in guild wars and stuff, she'll absolutely just wreck the opponent, creating a load of green, charging up the team, making skulls everywhere. But if she's in a bad mood, she really is in a bad mood, and even though there may be a load of skulls, a load of green on the board, you'll cast that and somehow just get nothing sometimes. And it's happened to me several times in a row, particularly on Guild Wars. So she has been fired from my team more than once. I sacked her from my Guild Wars once, and brought her back in a few months later, used her again, and she absolutely stitched me up again. Even though there was green and skulls all over the board, about 2 or 3 matches in a row, somehow the game decided I was getting nothing and just completely setting up the opponent. So it is a bit of a yin and yang, sort of take the rough with the smooth kind of troop. If it works for you, it'll be devastating. If it works against you, it can get you devastated. So yeah, indeed. Up to you with that. I'd still get her. She's definitely a very good troop, absolutely worth crafting, but she can get you into a massive spot of bother depending upon her mood. Just saying. Right, let's take a quick look at these legendaries. Normally save my keys. I'd normally save my keys, not keys, diamonds for the mythics, because basically these can turn up in chests a lot easier. So yeah, consider that. Deals heavy splash damage to an enemy boosted by blue gems, then give all merfolk 4 magic. So just an okay spell, but the main benefit of this dude is he summons an ice storm at the start of battle, as well as giving all merfolk allies a 50% start with mana. Very handy indeed. Next up we have a Basilisk. Magic +1 true damage to an enemy. If the enemy's poisoned, deal double damage. And you poison enemies when doing skull damage, as well as getting reduced damage from skulls by 30%, making it viable in first place. Then deal the same amount of true damage again, and if they are stunned, deal double damage. This can be absolutely devastating, and it stuns a random enemy when matching brown gems. So yeah, fantastic troop. I do love the Basilisk. Hindler, Frost Crown. Deals magic-based splash damage to an enemy, freezes all affected enemies, and has a summon at the same time. Not quite as good as she used to be. The game has sort of moved on, and other troops have come in the game when she was really effective a few years ago. But still not bad. All giant allies gain 2 life and magic on 4 or 5 gem matches, as well as being immune to frozen are her best traits. Gorgotha. Still really viable, a really good troop still. Doesn't sound much, explodes gems, cleanses itself, but that is a lot of gems exploded, which is going to generate a lot of mana for the team. Reduces damage from skulls by 75%, which means it's really tanky in first place. And yeah, a very good mana generator and a good tank in first place at the same time. So there's that. Who's going to be my super coveted, not Mythic of the Week? It's slightly awkward, this one, because I'd like to give it to the Wild Queen, because she really is awesome when she's in a good mood. Obsidius is really good as well, but is more situational based than anything. That's just not powerful enough unless boosted. That's a bit random. So, despite what I said about her, I have to give it to the Wild Queen, because on her day, when that goes for you, that is absolutely devastating. Like, the fact that it takes away that attack from the first enemy means if you do set up the enemy on some skulls, it's not going to be as bad as it could have been. But yeah, she can actually stitch you up at the same time. So just be prepared that the Wild Queen can be in a bad mood sometimes and will get you into a lot of bother. But on a good day, she'll be absolutely awesome. So the Wild Queen is my Mythic of the Week. And that is the video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to bash that like and subscribe button. I'll be back later on with my world event team. But thanks for watching this one, and I'll catch you again next time. Bye for now.